Joining us now from Nashville, Tennessee, Ben Austin, who wrote the upcoming New York Times Magazine cover story entitled Stuck in the Shadow of Affluence, how the epidemic of empty, foreclosed homes in Chicago's poorest neighborhoods ignited a new form of guerrilla activism. Mike Barnacle, Brian Shackman, and Jillian Tatt still here at the table as well. Okay,
boy, this is a fascinating story. So tell us what happens here. Is it true you have people actually moving into these houses without approval of the banks, without the approval of the city, but moving in and occupying these homes that have been abandoned?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. One of the leaders of the group, J.R. Fleming, likes to say, moving homeless people into peopless homes, that it's kind of a moral imperative because there's so many vacant homes.
This problem of sort of cities in decline, or this excess in housing, which is to say abandoned, foreclosed homes, whether that can actually be solved by forces from the outside or whether it really needs to come from the inside. Now, I know vacancy to value works really with the community, but there are some folks in Chicago, for example, grassroots activists who are taking back abandoned homes and installing homeless families in them, and they're working completely outside of the mainstream. Is that a solution? Does it need to be some sort of combination?
I think it can be, actually. I think, but I think they ought to be mainstreamed in the sense that there needs to be a process to legalize them, to institutionalize where they live, to make it possible. But I actually think some of these activists are making the best available use of this space, and that it's probably the least expensive way to put some people to work going in and making sure these places are safe and habitable.
Vacant homes in need of repair. Young people can get experience, apprenticeships, learn a trade, and we're removing blight from our community. You know, if we gather together what works, we can extend more ladders of opportunity.
Lay. Sir. Yeah.
Kane is in the building, nigga.
Alright, already the show goes on all night.
Very much. We're back here in the chat room with Susanna Negevin, and we're talking about this initiative. A man on the South Side has taken this initiative to give homeless people housing. Here's what he wants to do. Take all those abandoned, empty homes that are here in our city and ask homeless people to move in. You use the home and you get rid of the eyesore. You also get rid of some of the problems that these homes are causing in communities with drug activity and gang activity. His name is Willie Fleming, goes by JR, which stands for Just Righteousness. So we're asking, what do you think about this? He founded the anti-eviction campaign in 2009, and Joni Lum is tracking more about that, getting some reaction and what you're talking about regarding this new initiative. Joni, what are you hearing about it? What can you tell us?
Well, here outside the offices of the Chicago anti-eviction campaign, there's only the good being pointed out. They screen these homeless families. They get permission from the neighbors. They canvass the neighborhood first and ask people if this is okay with them, that they move a family into an abandoned property. Some of these properties boarded up for up to 5 years or something like that. And the neighbors say, sure, bring them in. There's already a criminal element in many of these buildings anyway. Gangs are working out of there. There's drug activity. Sometimes there's prostitution, and to have a family move in and live responsibly is much better. That way they've got more eyes on the street, and that person becomes like a caretaker or guardian of the street, just like all the other residents. You know, the city has this new program where they're demolishing more buildings that can't be saved. That creates vacant lots, and that can be a problem too. They've expanded this program to build gardens in these vacant lots, so now they've got young people working with old people, developing something fruitful. They also, while I was standing here, there were some high school kids who walked up and said, hey, what's going on? They are interested in what's happening in the improvement of their neighborhood, and they teach some young people how to do these rehab skills, so then instead of just hanging around with nothing to do, they're able to learn a skill, be productive, fix things at home even. And so those are all the good things that are coming out of this. Now, not everyone is a fan. It is controversial. Some people don't like the fact that people are getting something for nothing.
It's an interesting program for sure. You hear so many neighbors complain about those abandoned homes. Get them out of here, shut them down. And, you know, hey, it's one solution. Thanks, Joni, for telling us more about it. do you think, Susanna, when you hear that?
I think it's a pretty great solution. I haven't heard a better one suggested by anyone. And you have these two problems. You have these blighted, empty areas that need redevelopment, and then you have people who don't have homes. So you put these two things together. The only question is what happens as the economy recovers.
And someone who found herself in a foreclosure situation. But we're also talking about moving homeless families into abandoned buildings for the benefit of the neighborhood.
That's right. What we're seeing is a popular response to the housing and the financial crises.
The banks aren't fixing it, the government's not fixing it.
The market has failed, the government has failed, and this is a popular response. It's meeting a human need.
In our view, is unlawfully trying to take my home. And so, making the request, putting the call out, the anti-eviction came and actually formed a human blockade for several weeks.
Groups like the Chicago Anti-Eviction Campaign have organized to match these people-less houses with people who
A lot of people are talking about hope and about change, but unfortunately for the people at the bottom, things remain the same. And so we can't wait anymore for anybody else to implement our human rights. We can't wait anymore for anybody else to come on and implement the law or implement what's right. We need to do it ourselves, and so that's what the anti-eviction campaign is about.
We're basically rehabbing these homes for free for the banks, and we're actually house sitting for the banks. So they're receiving a lot of free services, so it makes more sense to allow us to do what we're doing, to keep the community healthy and safe.
There's a lot of seniors that have done reverse mortgages and have really been blindsided because they really don't understand.
Through the program, some people who are facing eviction can get back into their homes. The group has occupied about 20 houses, all with permission and support from the neighborhoods. Joni Lum, Fox 32 News.
Police in Wilmette.
My name is Martha Biggs. And we was also at my home that we fought back and fought to retrieve because there's a lot of people out here that don't have a place to stay and homeless. The people that I work with feel like that's not right, that people should have a place to stay and shouldn't be having to sleep on benches and on sidewalks. We also fought for other people, builders that was in foreclosure, people that was getting, put out for small reasons like they done lost their job and can't make the ends meet with the rent. We out here helping those people too. At this moment, I have a lot of people that's calling. I have a lot of people that's down for the cause to open up these foreclosed buildings that there's no one living in, make them better, and put people in them.
There will be more land liberation going on throughout the United States of America. There will be more resistance to evictions and foreclosure going out through America. And there will be definitely more extreme takeovers going on soon in the community near them. So in order for folks to really survive in America right now, they're going to have to come together across racial and economic barriers to ensure that the next generation, our children, does not go through the same plight that we're going through.